Hey, DOT community, this is Alon coming at you with a Vintages premiere video pre-show. I was trying to think of a fun title for tonight's stream because, of course, we have Vintage premiering a video at 10 p.m. Eastern tonight. So I'm going to stream for the next 2 hours, and then directly at 10 p.m., everybody should head over to Vintage's channel to see this new premiere. It looks like it's going to be 40 minutes and 48 seconds long. It's all about salvaging divine gems. And I got Boganora and Conclusive Ninja here on Discord. He just joined. How we doing, guys?
Pretty solid. How about you?
What's up,
Yeah. Yeah, I just saw... Did Jaeger just go live? He's got a Malduck live stream going on. I saw him go live and I'm like, not again! No! Because I was like, I gotta get on and stream because, well, just within the last hour we went from rank 51, which we've been sitting like right above top 50, and I actually have jumped up to 42nd place. But I gotta get more souls in to make sure that this is gonna stay secure, because D's gonna have my head for not getting enough souls.
D will have all of our heads, and then she'll take our time and say, "No, you can't play with these." And
yeah. See.
But yeah, we got dual streams going on. That's cool.
Dueling streams. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I live streamed.
Yeah, dueling
before Vintage's 40-minute long video, because I was like, man. There's going to be people. It's the way these premieres work is you watch the video like it plays live for 40 minutes, as in like it's a live stream.
It's like a pre-recorded live stream.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Oh wait. Now he's offline? Oh no. Maybe we scared Jaeger away. Oh, well.
Nah, he mentioned in chat that he just stopped.
Oh, really? Jeez.
He was being deferential since he stole so much time from you before.
Yeah, well, I was just like, I'm going to go at 8 o'clock. Bo can back me up. For the last 20 minutes, I was in Discord saying, I'm going to go at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Jaeger, come on over here, man. Jump in Discord.
Yeah, Extinction, what's going
Jaeger's
on?
Been working on his audio stuff, and he's eager to try it out, I think.
Oh, I see. All right, well, I got to get back to grinding, so... And let's just get that going here in the background, and then we're going to say what's up to everybody in the chat. Because, yes, I did pull some relics. I pulled like 6 relics, and then I pulled another... 2k out of my gems, but I'm gonna start holding on to, I think, some of the relics tokens if I can, to see exactly how far up I can go with the stream. And I may pull like 3 more times just with gems though to get a little farther along, but we'll see what happens. Oh, there's Jaeger in the Discord.
What's up, Jaeger?
Hey, Zalana, we gotta get you in the streamers Discord to post when you're going live.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah?
What's up, Jaeger?
What's going on, guys? How's it going?
I saw you go. I saw you went live.
Streaming.
Yeah, as soon as I saw you went live, Jaeger, I was like, not again.
No, you're going live, dude, and I'm excited to have a Zalana stream. I'm hoping when I saw your title, I was like, maybe he'll be talking about what I was planning on talking about, and I'm totally willing to go later. I definitely want to go, but I'll 100% go after you because I'm on Pacific time, so I got all the time this evening still. Yeah. But yes, we got to get you in the other Discord, brother, so that way we can know when you're, because I didn't know when you were going. That's my bad. So.
OJDOT718 says your stream's better than his, don't worry. And then BMT deleted it. Oh, look at that, BMT.
That's all good. That's all good. Everyone's got their preferences. I don't think
Jim, you could have left that one.
Yeah.
Hashtag blame Zalon.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. What's up, Shy? Good to see you. D, wow, dueling streams. Well, see, D, maybe if you streamed when you were supposed to, you would have had dueling streams with Jaeger, too.
That's right.
Could have been cool.
He has nothing, no quarter to talk about anybody streaming.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Because when someone else streams like Jaeger, she's like, "Oh, looks like Jaeger's streaming. Guess I don't have to." And she just says it like that, and you're like, "But that sounds like that's what you wanted to happen." I don't know. She's just using it as an excuse. Oh, I guess I'm off the hook.
She says it like, "No, Drum, whatever you do, please do not do the dishes and clean the kitchen."
Yeah, please.
Hey, when you know me, if anyone ever taps out and the window opens up, there's a good likelihood that I'm pretty much going to jump on that. So,
all right. Well, good.
So what are you doing? What are you talking about tonight, Salon? What's happening? What's on the menu? I heard you saying you're going to be doing some soul grinding and all that. But
well, yeah, I got to do some soul grinding in the background. But that's what's up, Fast Cart. But it's pretty much this is just a pre-show for Vintage's premiere video that's coming out, because I figured I would just stream up until 10 o'clock specifically, and then pretty much go over there to watch that. So, of course, my stream dumped out, which is horrible. Welcome back, everybody that comes back. It's always great when that happens.
So what's the vintage thing that's upcoming?
Well, he's got a fixes to divine gem altars and basically and more. Kind of like, it's so funny too, because that's the same thing that they say for the divine gem altars. Like, we have this titan, this titan, this titan, and more. So that was a very very fun thing to do when it comes down to saying exactly what his stream's going to be all about.
nice.
Yeah. Well, it's not exactly a stream, but it's a premiere, but it allows the streaming to happen. I think this is Vintage's way of being like, here's my stream, because he said in one of my last live streams, he said specifically that he's extremely OCD and doesn't like to have, like, things go haywire and, you know, just not have any kind of control over just everything and be able to just edit out what he doesn't want and this, that, and the other thing. So I think this is his solution, is to make videos and then have them premiere and be like, oh, look, it's like a live stream. Because you can be in your own premiere if you think about it. So you can jump in your own chat and just basically be there while it's premiering. So...
Sounds like that dude needs to take a word of advice from Master Uguay and let go of the illusion of control.
There is no spoon.
Well, some of us have just our preferences, I guess. Me, I like to live stream when others are not, and I will wait up as long as I can to be able to live stream until I pass out. Right, Jaeger?
Until you pass out. Hey, listen, and look, here's D. Gaming Nerd has a track record for pretending to not know our regular streaming times. Okay, so let's just all take a brief moment here as YouTube streamers to check out the brand new Discord that some mysterious Discord streamer decided to set up for everybody. And let me peek in the specific channel that says event schedule. No one has posted when they're going live.
Let's see.
Wait, well, hold on. I just need to know, where did you post it so that way I don't miss it next time?
I didn't post it anywhere. So I just told my... You are
lucky you are on an NTG stream, or I would have some choice words for you right now.
Well, listen, nobody normally goes right now, so I literally was just like, oh, it'll be okay. There's no way anybody would decide to go right now at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then,
true story, dude. That's exactly why I pushed the button. I was like, no one normally goes at this time. I'm going to just haul out.
See? Yeah, that's right.
I thought we got rid of band for the schedule. That's all right. It's all good. I'm excited to hear. I've been needing a Zalon stream, dude. So I'm ready to hang out with you all stream long.
Oh, Soldier, it's your streaming time? I don't know about that. I haven't seen a regular schedule for Soldier, I think, in a very long time. It not saying that Soldier's not putting content out. It's just the fact that he's not on like a weekly schedule where we expect him on a certain particular day and time. So, which would be nice, Soldier. Be nice. So you can tell us, you know, one of my favorite Soldier lines. It gives us the opportunity to blank, but blank, blank, but blank. Oh, man. Soulja has always been an inspiration for a lot of my streams. I've always wanted super cool stuff like he has on his, so I always enjoy Soulja's streams. Just wish they would happen more often.
True story.
Oh, yeah. He's streaming some Smurf Village action. BMT's asking him. And right now I'm using one of my 3 stars, D, so you're going to notice, oh, wow, we're doing so well now, 42nd place, and it's just going to keep going up from there. And, oh, I know she was so worried and concerned and this, that, and the other thing, but guess what? Big surprise, everything's going to work out. Big surprise. I wonder if all that... all those panic attack messages were necessary, but it's okay. It's okay. I was very busy with my daughter all day yesterday, so I didn't exactly get to. I didn't read it until later. What's up, Jose Rios? Clash Royale, buddy. Oh, you're streaming your Clash Royale there, Soulja? A good leader should always be concerned about the performance of their team. Yeah, they should. You have a surprise. Oh gosh, D, are you gonna come on Discord to announce this surprise?
Wait, D has a surprise? Oh Lord.
Oh yeah, she's got a surprise. It's probably like.
I'm worried.
I don't know.
I'm genuinely worried about what D's surprise is.
Yeah.
Surprise! 10K soul minimum.
Yeah. Surprise, everybody. I'm booting everybody below 30th place in the alliance.
Yeah.
She's probably like, I have another alliance that wants to just move right into those spots, so we're just moving everybody down to Knights.
That sounds like D. Which, and I wouldn't put it past her either, because good recruiter. Very good.
Right, exactly. Extinction, yeah, right, Mama D. What's up, Ice? How was my road trip? Well, it was good. It's good. I got back today a little earlier than normal, obviously. D is pregnant? I don't know.
And I mean, I would.
Maybe.
So then what would happen would be like me and you, Jaeger, Soulja, Godan. We just start up the YouTube SPP line.
Oh, yeah? Man.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, it might happen. Maybe one day. Just for fun.
No.
Never?
What if we could get permission from Natural Motion to just let us use our test accounts for a week and just wreck stuff?
Oh my gosh. People would say it's unfair. People would be whining out the wazoo. They'd be like,
it would be unfair.
These guys have
That's
level
why we don't use
6.
them.
Yeah, these guys have level 60s out there, all over the place, and all these max relics.
That means Alon would actually have to log in and play, though.
Well, on my test account, which I don't at all.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't play on my test account at all. I play on my main account. Hey, Jaeger, what's your main account? What castle level are you?
Who's counting anymore?
Exactly. Exactly talking about who's playing the game.
I ran into Big Jaeger's test account over in, what is it, aren't you in Beta Soul right now or whatever? And I was like, or maybe it was your real account. I don't know, but
my real one's in beta, yeah.
Yeah, okay, maybe it was your real account. I almost hit it. I'm like, wait.
Oh my god.
Jaeger, I better not do that.
You should just go for it. I don't have a lot of VP to lose because I'm not doing that. But my mini's also I think up in Legends too. That one's in Soul. That one has Chernabog on it, so it'd be interesting to see how you do.
Oh yeah, multiple Chernabogs and Bellabogs on the test accounts. Yeah, so D says her surprise is she's uploading a pic later. So that's her surprise. People always ask what I look like. They finally get to see. Now, Ice is asking the more important question, is it going to be on Band or on YouTube or maybe even Discord? So you're not being very specific. Ink of the Street Tattoo. What's going on?
You guys know you're.
Do we know we're what, King?
Sitting in the waiting room, not in a stream room.
Yeah, it's all right. It's not a problem.
Yeah, it's a long stream, so he gets to pick.
Yeah, I didn't mind being in the waiting room just because it makes it so I don't have to monitor and pull people down. But it's not a big deal. Well, yeah, I know what you look like too, D. The BMT says that. I know what you look like. You sound like a creeper, BMT.
I think. Oh, didn't I think
He does.
Sure, me.
Yeah, he does. What?
I can't remember. I sent my picture to like half the people on NTG. I just don't know who's seen it and who hasn't.
No, King, I don't believe that was me.
What's up, Jim?
Creeper, what the hell?
Eh.
What is that?
Hey, Jim.
I'm just saying, Jim.
Yeah.
When I read it like that in the chat, it says, I know what you look like, D. Creepy smiley
By the way,
face.
Evan Yeager, hey, Yeager, if you'll look in that YouTube Discord, I've posted when I was going to stream, so everybody knows.
Yeah.
If you noticed, me and you have never overlapped streams as well. What a coincidence.
Big coinky dink.
I see. Oh, now Black Gold's all excited.
Oh, because I joined?
Yeah,
Yes.
probably. I gotta say though, I do miss the calendar function in band. It's
I
just-
do, yeah.
Yeah, that was
You
one
can
of the big
actually,
things. I was like,
you can
"Ah,
actually
I'm gonna miss
do it in Discord. There's a way to do it in Discord.
Oh yeah, there's multiple ways to do it in Discord. Unfortunately, they all suck.
Yeah.
Not true.
Black Gold, good to
There is
see
an
you,
app.
girl.
There is a bot that can actually schedule the recording for you guys.
Is it that discal? Because I tried it and that thing's a nightmare.
No, it's a smaller one that nobody really uses, but I know the person that developed it. So
Send it our way.
What's up,
Okay.
iTouch? So,
Yeah,
president
send it
of the
on. We'll check it out.
Procrastination Nation, just as I said, Friday, 6 hours on last day. Surprise, surprise. Alon streams and pushes us into top 30 like clockwork, and the gang's all here. Right, iTouch? Well, it wasn't just me pushing,
No,
but
hey,
it will
I'm a
be like
creeper.
that.
Tomorrow,
It will be like that.
tomorrow's Rick's birthday, so everybody tell Rick happy birthday.
Oh, really?
Who's Rick?
That's iTouch Matzer. It's Rick
That
Matzer.
I touch.
Oh,
It's Rick
Okay.
Matzer. Back in the day, he used his full name for when he used to type in all caps all the time, so...
I'm yelling at you.
Yeah, it's always like, geez. Some people don't get it, and they're like, why are you typing in all caps? You said something conclusive, Ninja. I saw that. You're like, it's bad form.
Yeah.
I liked
No,
it. How you put it as bad
you're
form.
always yelling.
I liked it.
Exactly.
it's
And
ba-
who in real life actually goes walking around yelling at people all the time? It's
Well,
not
Have
received
you
well.
not been in a
I
lobby
do.
with me?
He's
I
done
do.
it for so long that
Yeah.
we're just used to it, and when
Yeah,
he doesn't type in
it's-
all caps, I feel like he's depressed.
Yeah,
I
sometimes.
yell at people in
Yeah,
real
he's
life.
not.
I sent Bo a picture of me. Now imagine that with a
I'm
very
afraid of
loud, booming voice that carries a 45 on his waist at all times.
Always.
Yeah, I don't-
Almost to the point of yelling. Would you not walk the other way, Bo?
Driving right now, I can't look at your picture. Sorry.
All right. Let's see.
Oh, here. Who's a good judge of character? Who's a good judge of character in here?
Send it to
Well,
Jeff.
I knows a
He's
lot
always
of both,
up for
so I'm
receiving
like-
random pictures on the internet.
Yeah.
Did you say send it to me?
Depends on
Yeah.
what they are.
It's
Oh,
D.
Jim,
I know you're.
Jim.
I know you're asking D. Yeah, it's NTG King. He's this is just he's another NTG player from other games.
Yeah. I mainly hang around the MOBAs,
Yeah. Mm-mm-mm.
but but Bo, I finally decided what I'm going to be streaming. I'm going to start with Final Fantasy 1 and stream every single Final Fantasy in chronological order.
Well, you'll be done with that in about 5 years.
Yeah, right.
What are you talking about? I'm not. I'm skipping over the online ones.
How many of them are there?
Oh,
Well, we have 15 minus 11 and I think
That's 4.
14.
15 minus 11 is 4, just to let you know. I didn't know if you had to actually say that out loud.
No, minus Final Fantasy 11 and Final Fantasy 14, which would be, that's 13 there. Then you have all the knockoffs, which I'm going to be doing also.
No problem, my touch.
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, Final Fantasy, one of my personal favorites, Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that one because that's on the PS2, and I don't have a way to capture that.
Zalon, what do you think about this for the new Ice Titan?
What's up?
For the Conquest?
Yeah.
There's going to be an Ice Tour.
I see. People are thinking that kind of are thinking that way, but I don't think they're going to release the TARs that close together. I really don't. Just because
I was hoping you say that because now I'm hoping for an Ice Guardian.
Because that would just that's why I think an Ice Guardian is very possible because people have been asking for it.
Yeah, I agree. There's no way that the tours are coming that close together.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like they would do that. Oh, there's my Malduck. It's my second one though, so I
tried to play Dawn.
I got my Mad Duck.
Yeah, and you like him or no? Have you tried him?
I got 2. I got damage, and then I got double damage against Titans. So he's going to be triple damage.
Well, that's okay.
Out,
mine was like that
I'm
too.
good with that.
And I was thinking possibly that I just didn't know how the skills were going to work out with having triple damage like that because just the way that the skills work out for Malduck. But yeah, so I'm assuming that the second one that I just got most likely have the same skills, but
well, mine I got from the event has double damage against Titans and double AP.
So you'll eventually just have double damage.
Yeah, this is the one that I'm thinking is going to have
That's
the triple damage.
That's not a bad roll either. I got AP, and I'll end up with triple damage and AP, which I think is going to be fun.
Double.
Somebody explain to me what is AP.
Armor piercing.
Armor piercing.
Oh, armor piercing.
So yeah, so actually the new one I got has double armor piercing and will have double two damage. So
these things are walking around with howitzer rounds on them or something?
No, not at all.
So
they have swords.
So let me ask you this:
swords.
Would double damage or double armor piercing you guys think be more effective?
Well, I'll have both, so I'm okay.
Yeah.
I was actually.
I think
so this
you're
is what I was
see.
thinking.
I think you're going to see a lot of double damage, double AP.
Yeah.
How much damage stack can you get? Because you can never go wrong with just stacking raw damage.
Well, the problem is raw damage doesn't cut through everything in this game because you got armor to deal with and you got elemental to resist to deal with. Yeah. So there's many factors.
Oh, I am fully aware. You're talking to somebody that's a hammer main on Dauntless. My solution to every big problem is hit it in the head repeatedly with blunt force trauma. If that doesn't work, keep hitting it.
That doesn't work all the time.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about the Mad Duck and his Horde damage is that 6x charge that the Hordes get. Yeah. So whatever your damage is, charge damage is 6 times that. And if you can get any crit, if you can get a crit hit on top of the charge damage, dude, look out. I don't care what it is, it's going down.
That's why if you're going up against something like that, when your troops are almost there, you got to freeze those Horde. You cannot let those Horde get that 6-time charge damage off. Because if you do, most of the stuff that you have will die.
Wait, 6-time charge? No, somebody must be a D&D fanboy or a Pathfinder fanboy because that's the only.
Well, most of the troops have like a 3x charge, but the Horde is the only troop that has a 6x charge, and they did that. They did that to differentiate them between the militia, which is a very similar troop. So yeah, it's just a little bit tweak to the stats there.
Let me ask: if I like things with a very large blunt object and hitting things repeatedly over the head until my messages get across, which Titan would be the one for me?
Kronos.
Yeah, Kronos.
So what's so special about him?
Well, he has Goliath as his troop, and they have a big giant club, and they beat people over the head with them.
There you go.
Oh.
So Kool-Aid says Malduck needs one crit skill to
year.
max him. Mixed damage and AP after that. Double damage is better. So you think that at least one crit skill needs to be on there because I didn't have that on either one of mine.
I don't know how high you can get the crit without having the crit skill on the Titan, but we shall see. We shall see. So, and then we need Prometheo or Ninja to run a calculation to tell us, is it better to have 100% crit and lower damage, or is it better to have much higher damage and a crit at like 92?
So I was actually going to answer that question just a little bit because
that's actually I don't even play the game that much, and I can.
Go ahead, Ninja. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, so you pull it up on DOT database, and what you actually want would be double Horde armor piercing, some crit, and then probably damage, simply because you can get a decent chunk of crit from relics, but you can actually, with a double AP roll, you can actually get effective armor piercing on him, and like armor piercing that could touch on even higher armor. Like you can get 250% armor piercing off of him, so that would be very solid.
Nice.
As to the exact crit versus damage values, that would have to depend. I would definitely need to do some more micro optimization on that, but usually you want to shoot for crit up towards the 70-ish percentage, depending on what your exact optimizations look like.
Well, there goes my live stream as well, I guess.
What's up, Jaeger? What'd you say? Okay.
I think it operates a little bit in DOT without kind of being experienced in playing there. No offense, King, but I think you got to see the mechanics at DOT quite honestly operate a little bit different than I think a lot of other battle games do because of the way those numbers stack. But Zalon, what I was going to say is I guess there goes my reason to live stream. What I was actually going to live stream tonight was not gameplay, but I was going to do an entire time of building Malduck.
Well, you should still do that.
And running through the numbers. But
you should still do that.
Well, we'll see if I can stay awake after you stream, right? But
well, I'm just streaming.
We're on Pacific time. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So yeah, that is what I'm going to do. I've got two different Malduck builds on my account that I was going to kind of play around with, and anyone that knows relics and numbers, I would love to have them there with it because I just want to look at what are those real. There's been so much talk about it, but I'm glad we're talking about it because I really want to see if this guy is as special, so to say, as he's kind of being made. I'm struggling with the idea that a 3-star is so fantastic compared to 4 stars, and I'm struggling with that.
So there are a couple of 3-stars in the game that are absolutely worth having. I think Malduck is going to be one of those to go along with who's the Poison Ranger 3-star? What's her name? Logu. If they have the right roll on Logu, and then also the other 3-star Ranger, 3-star Berserker, the 3-star Berserker.
Oh, Korea.
Kuba for the Panthers. I agree. Yeah, they're all good 3-stars to have. I don't know if I would ever probably say that like Logu is, as great as a 4-star to have. And
well, now if you'll notice, I never said that.
I know you never said that. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of.
I said they were really good to have,
Yes. I 100% agree with you. I'm reading a lot of comments in chat rooms that are like, Malduk is way better than some 4-stars, and I'm like, I've got a hard time registering that.
I mean, yeah, it depends. You know, if you
if you watch Vintage's video, he compared Malduk to a Dionysus. Now, I don't know if that was his Dionysus that he had, but it had more damage than level 25 militia on it for a 4-star. You know, and the AP was actually higher.
Yeah.
Now, on my Dionysus, because I got the AP damage roll, it's not quite the same. Mine's still higher.
Playing with Horde is kind of like playing with a bunch of Omega militia all at the same time. So
the difference is
as well. There's differences that is not just the Titan; it is the troops base stats as well.
It's the Horde, especially that ×6 is a big bet. And this is something that Ninja, you mentioned on my stream the other day. That like I think this is where sometimes numbers are a bit different. It's that tactical like. An Omega Titan always has the ability to spawn on the enemy, and that's something that another troop, no matter how fast or whatever their damage numbers are, can't do. You can't negate enemies without Omegas like that. Very different.
You know what you need for that? When that happens, is Storm Maiden resist against melee.
Oh my god.
Okay.
We are not talking about that.
I thought you were about to take that serious and be like, oh, just use skeleton relics, but you just drop the resist melee. That is...
This Discord just went to hell in a handbasket now.
Right.
Interesting side note, from a micro-optimization standpoint, if you use 4-star and 3-star Bone Sword and Daggers of Sacrifice, you still have 1 relic slot left to play with. And then if your Malduk runs damage, armor piercing, crit, armor piercing, you will have exactly 100% crit, 240% armor piercing. And if you throw on Ragged Pauldrons, you can have like physical resist and then armor, as well as pretty solid health. So you can actually do
that right there sounds like a good time. Sign me up.
I agree. Yeah, I'm really interested to try to look at these a bit more. And I'm not going to say the word analyze, but I really just want to see some of this stuff. So I'm going to build this out.
Well, there you go. So you're still doing it tonight. Good.
Maybe.
Yes.
If we spend all this time talking about it, then there's no point in doing it.
If nothing else, we need to try out your new sound setup.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Jaeger.
What I heard between you and Ninja on your stream yesterday sounded like 1,000% better than.
Yeah, Ice jumped in and it already, like, you could, I wasn't having to blow my ears up, but I was able to get it, so it was good. But Zalan, how's the Souls going?
It's going good. I'm above D now, so that's what I wanted. I wanted to make sure that I could get above D and make sure that no matter what, there was no way that she could be like, Zalan, you're not getting enough souls, you know? So
you should start spam messaging her and just tell her that she needs some more souls.
She's got 4158. I got 4593, and I'm still going.
So now wait, what I'm hearing is that Zalan is now the longer Bo. Bo is not the bar.
Well, I got to get above Bo too. He's got 5569. I got to get above you too. So just so I can say that you're slacking as well.
It's not about getting the souls. It's about telling people who's slacking.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Dougie Fresh will come in here and just be like, blah, 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 blah,
blah, blah, blah, slackers. Yeah.
See? And then, because that's what it's all about.
So, in other words, D is slacking right now. Come on, D. Come on, girl.
Yeah, see? I don't know. She's been worrying all weekend, and here I just put her to shame in, like, an hour. But
don't let me down, D. Come on, girl. You can do it.
Lawrence Wick says, hey guys, Jaeger, outstanding streams this weekend. A gazillion thanks, sir, and a good evening to the rest of you. Thanks for joining, Lawrence. You can easily get those Horde troops crit above 60 by using Death's Grasp, both bone swords, and the daggers, and can be put on any Titan like Skelly rings. Or like Skelly relics, I'm sure. Black Gold's taking notes. Just like D.
Yay, taking notes.
Okay, dang. I'm actually sitting here looking, cross-comparing some of the builds I've put together for Dionysus and with the damage AP roll. and how survivable those usually are, and then cross-comparing that with Malduk, and, like, dang. I am actually now genuinely hoping I get a good roll on a 3-star, and I've never been in this place before.
I can't remember the last time I leveled a 3-star. I do know it's been a long time.
Well, I got a Max Kobar. Max Kobar, man. Level 30.
I mean, the only problem is as soon as they release an X-Offense Horde Titan, it'll immediately become obsolete because just the 2 X skills alone will be, and then the extra relic slot will make this hilariously obsolete.
Well, we all understand that, but, you know.
For now, conclusive. For now.
Until we get there.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have good 3-star food into a 4-star.
Nice, Z-Turk. Hello to everyone. I completed the event fine. Nice.
Just curious if you're looking at that. What is the damage on that roll?
So the damage that I have on Dionysus is currently set up for 29,000. I mean, from a technical standpoint, that's 30,000 on the Malduk, but actually, sorry, that's not crit adjusted. Give me a sec. Let me pull up a calculator.
Well, you don't have to crit adjust it. Just the straight damage is fine because we know what the crit is. If we got it.
But the Malduk has higher crit than the build I have for Dion.
Well, see, my Dion, I got 102% crit on them. That's why I'm asking what your numbers are.
Okay, well, I've got the Dion build set up a little bit more for survivability, which makes it not quite comparable. Let me.
Yeah, but I don't care if my militia survive or not. At with as low cost as they are, and with them taking 2 minutes to build, I'm just going straight crit and damage to kill the stuff. Whether the militia survive or not, I could care less. Now, if they're Storm Maidens or Panthers or, you know, I care about whether they survive.
Okay, so short answer is that they're the same if you ignore any of the survivability aspects of the militia.
Okay.
So, we got a question from Fastcart. I just hit my 25th day and got a free Titan token. Which temple should I wait for to use it? They're currently on Berserker. In all honesty, if you have some Berserkers that need to be leveled, I mean, doing it now really wouldn't be a bad thing. But you could obviously wait until any kind of 3 times chance for a specific Titan that you're looking for. But I did do the air quotes when I said that 3 times chance. So again,
we all saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that straight up. I think you should wait for the 3 times chance. Like 1 Titan token, you're looking at a 2.7, 2.9% chance of rolling a Titan. Wait until it's the at least 7.5. Worst case scenario, you've waited. Frankly, right now, if you're only 25 days into play, you're probably not too far along, and I don't think it'll likely hurt you to wait. But again, like Salon said, that's kind of up to you. If you got super lucky and got a nice Maiden Titan here, you'd be set for quite a while.
Yeah, because the one thing with temple takeovers, since Berserker food is incredibly hard to get, really, this is actually a temple specifically that isn't a bad time to pull if you're trying to level up specific Berserkers that you already have. So
totally agree. Yeah.
Otherwise, you get so many drops for other classes of Titans all the time that most of the time the temple takeovers, I'm like, I don't need more Guardians. You know what I mean? I don't need more. I was going to say Eris and Lako are pretty much the only ones, and everyone's favorite Kelwyn are usually the Rangers that drop all the time, but still there's not 4 different Ranger 1-stars, whereas we seem to have multiple different 1-stars for all the other classes. And then, of course, like I said, Berserker, still even the 2 and the 3-star Berserkers don't even drop that much. So it's one of those things. So I think totally, the Berserkers are hard to come across now, but Ninja's got the point as well that it's
he probably, I'm assuming at 25, not very far progressed, right? So
yeah. Yeah, Fast Cart says I have a Coria, but she's still a 3-star. Yeah. Yeah,
Not
if you had a 4-star Berserker that you were working on specifically, then it would be a little bit of a different situation. But that is one thing to always consider whenever they do Berserker temple takeovers, is if you do have a few tokens saved up and everything else, and you're in that situation, and you know maybe there's a fusion event coming up like within the next week or on that Monday after that current event it's running that temple takeover, kind of those kind of planning ahead things can be very helpful in the future. And
when was the last time we saw a 3 times? I don't recall seeing a 3 times temple in a while.
Sometimes they're the ones that happen during the week. That's the ones.
The Hell one I thought was a 3 times chance.
Was it? Okay, maybe I just wasn't paying attention. Okay.
Mostly because I say that because I'm very sure that was why I spent like 6 saved Titan tokens on my mini to try and get Hell, because the biggest gap is it doesn't have maidens.
I should have pulled some. I didn't even know it was a 3 times. But then again, I think I was kind of MIA in the game during that temple. I waited. Sat out. Crap.
Well, gentlemen, I hope you guys have a good stream. I'm going to drop off here.
All right,
because I have arrived at my destination.
Nice.
All right. And maybe later on tonight, if I'm available, I can jump on with you, Jaeger. All right. In a little while. And, of course, I will be streaming Wednesday night at my YouTube time, which is 9 p.m. Eastern, over on the Boganora channel.
Nice.
So,
awesome, Bo. Thanks for
see you
joining.
guys. Have fun.
Awesome. Yeah, Black Gold says I'm waiting for a 3 times chance for Callie. I'm sure that's Calvrex. Hope he's back for Halloween. I'm sure he will be. But it made it seem like the developers had something really, really good cooked up, because they're like, oh, Calvrex, yeah, he'll be back, but making it sound like they got something really good, hopefully set up for Halloween.
I mean, if you think about it, like, so far they've reworked 2 Rangers and did a Ranger release with Artemis, and both of those were a major power revamp to Rangers, and Calvrex is really old. He's running all 1, 2, 3 chain skills. Like, you could see him become a pretty strong Horde Raised Dead combo, similar to what you see on Anubis, perhaps. Like, there's a lot of cool things that you could do with Calvrex, and he could be seriously lit.
Well, the one I have right now, I like the way he is, but that's just my preference, because I just have all his relics worked out to the skills that he has. But I got 3.
I'd take Anubis over him.
Well, it's fine. I mean, I got an Anubis too, so I mean that when it comes down to just having a bunch of fun Titans to play around with in their 50s, I just enjoy them all. But we have just over 5,000 souls now at rank 41, and also just gonna make sure, because I just got 3 more 2-star relics. I think that'll probably be it, and then after that I'll just straight grind until we get to our 10 o'clock destination time of getting ready to prepare for Vintage's video release premiere. So I hope you all will join me over there, because it's going to be a pre-recorded live stream pretty much. So, and hopefully Vintage will be in his own chat during it, critiquing himself. He's like, who's this guy? Yeah, Extinction said they used to have 10 times chance. Yeah, I remember that too. It was a very long time ago. Yeah, the dev's definition of good is not always the same as ours. Very, very true, Mr. Rojas. DDB, my Maldux has double crit and double damage against Titans. Can't wait till they change the slots for damage troops against Titans. Yeah, so you'll have double damage and double crit. Not bad at all. Yeah, I can't wait for them to change that skill too. It's going to make a lot of Titans that used to sit bench be like, oh, look. Huh. They're not so bad. The developers are like, we don't see it affecting too many Titans and breaking the game. It's like, I think it affected a decent amount of Titans, actually. But everybody's on mute.
I was going to say, I just don't want to have feedback coming in from my audio channel, really. I was going to say, I think that although damage against Titans created a few NAF Titans here or there.
Oh, using the British turd NAF. Oh, I see.
Yeah, Matt has corrupted me. Part of me feels like it hasn't been super impactful because the Titans that have been able to roll damage against Titans, even in an ideal roll, haven't been like the meta for quite some time. So I guess I just, even if that goes through and it changes all of the Titans that had damage against Titans, I'm not seeing that being a major change in anything in the meta right now.
Black Gold wants to correct you conclusive and say that nobody in Britain says NAF anymore. So,
except for Matt.
Except for Matt. So, just finished dinner with the fam. Where is Dee's pick reveal gonna be? I don't know, Ice. She's just making it all sorts of, secretive about really what's happening. She tells us that something's happening, but she doesn't tell us how it's happening. Ridiculous. It's certainly not game-breaking, changing from damage against Titans to straight damage, just more functional, right? And not as disappointing when you see your Titans when you get to your roll. You're like, oh, 3 damage against Titan skills. Garbage.
I mean, yeah. I'll step back a little bit from my previous statement. The new Italis, if you rolled like double damage against Titans, that will be an improvement for you in most cases. But there will be a lot of rolls that'll still be kind of mediocre because the damage kind of wasn't the best. Damage wasn't really the best optimization or quality roll for him.
Here's what it's going to save the biggest is just player frustration, right? I mean,
true.
Damage, you can pump up the number of damage, but the part that's still missing is you still got to get that AP and crit to really make damage numbers most effective, especially AP. So, the numbers will be up. You'll feel a little stronger. You might take out troopers a little quicker, but I think the player frustration of just like seeing damage against Titans is just like that. I think that'll just go a long way as far as the emotional side of the game.
Oh, I got very emotional when I got 2 of them double damage against Titans. I got very emotional.
I don't know if anyone happens to remember my Poseidon live stream, but let's just say a few less F-bombs can get dropped in, with content when you see that EAT come up.
Right.
I think Val got a little scared. She kept changing the subject. She was like, and so Extinction says the weather is just perfect where he is.
Yeah, right? Trying to get you to not be so grumpy.
Yeah, exactly. I got a question for Conclusive Ninja, though.
I have
Zalon was talking about his Marduk last night, and he has. Don't you have triple damage against Titans on that?
Well, how it is the way these Titans are skilled is they get 2 tier 1 and 2 tier 2 skills. And basically, you can't have the same exact tier 1 or tier 2 skill. It just doesn't work like that. Which means I'm wondering how that would be. Because I already have a tier 2 damage. And does that mean that my tier 2 damage against Titans is also going to be a tier 2 damage? Or are they just going to be like, that's not going to be, it's going to be replaced with, critical or AP instead?
My strong suspicion is what you'll see as a second tier 2 damage skill.
Really? And that's not going to drop like that. You know what I mean?
It wouldn't
in the
drop
future.
Necessarily. It might drop that way in the future depending on how they implement the change. So if my understanding of various dark magic-y things is correct, any skill slot in a Titan represents a pool of skills. Now, for fixed Titan, like say Dionysus, your three pools are fixed. So your ones for your 2 archer skills and your ones for your base skill in slot 1 are all fixed. And then you have a pool of you have the 2 slots that have a pool of 4 militia skills. So all they would have to do to change that is, instead of going through and changing all of the pools on the Titans to eliminate damage against Titans, what they do is what they did with the Loki and go through and you alter the skill itself at a lower level and say damage against Titans is now a damage skill. And so the pool stays the same. So what would actually happen for future rolls, unless they do later changes to Titans, and this is entirely possible, is that you have a double chance of rolling damage because you've got 2 damage things in the pool and then armor piercing and then crit. So you would be able to roll it in the future because they've changed the damage against Titan skill, which is in the pool, to represent a damage skill as well.
Okay.
I forget what question I even asked.
Well, it's just basically if it's possible to have 2 tier 2 damage skills, basically.
And the short answer is right now it's not, because you don't have 2 of the same skills in any pool. So my pool is, let's say for Dionysus, you've got militia health, militia armor, militia damage, militia armor piercing. For let's say Italus, you have your damage, crit, armor piercing, damage against Titans. That pool doesn't change. The skill that damage against Titan changes to damage. So what happens is now in the pool of possible rolls is damage, what used to be damage against Titans and is now damage, and then crit and armor piercing. So you could, in theory, if they're doing it the way that I'm thinking they're going to end up doing it, causing it to basically allow you to roll damage twice.
Yeah, you could.
Okay.
You have a higher chance.
They may not be able to do it that way, and they may have to go through and do something entirely different. But that would be how it would seem from the current way things are.
Which one makes the least amount of sense put into the game, and that is what we'll end up with, right?
Gaming Jaeger's always the voice of reason.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Have some faith.
Have some faith.
I love it. I just like to give them a hard time, because usually some of the stuff we see, we just kind of scratch our head and say, but wasn't it easier to do it this way, or blah, blah, blah. And, sometimes they just get, Band-Aid solutions to things.
Well, I mean, to be fair, as a software engineer, sometimes doing things the way that seem like they make the most sense is in fact not at all the way that makes the most sense, because there's so much background information that goes into a code change in an application that
it would screw up everything else that you wouldn't even think it would screw up.
Been there, done that.
Captain Howdy says
broke all kinds of things.
If Dee shows a pic, she's taking her time to make sure it's perfect. She's such a perfectionist before she shows it. Yep, you're right. Exactly, Captain Howdy. And let's see. I did say what's up, but I don't know if you heard it. But what's up, Chris Johnson? Good to see you. Thank you for stopping.
He's probably at the JCPenney photo studio right now, just getting that sweet backdrop.
Yeah, exactly. It's a sweet backdrop.
The question is, do you go with the watercolor paint background, or you do the sweet laser lights?
Oh my gosh, the school pictures!
And which pose do you do? Do you do thoughtful future, or you do resting forearm? They're very difficult decisions.
Yeah.
You gotta have the tree in the background with the leaves. You gotta have that one.
Yeah. Oh, the autumn look.
The autumn look.
Or you gotta put your hands together and rest your chin right on your knuckles, and it's so many good choices. And which turtleneck to choose? That's the other thing you always got to say.
Extinction says
you beat me to it.
Oh, the turtleneck. Oh man. I hope they're not changed the slots off resist against Titans. I don't think they're gonna do that yet, if they're going to do that at all.
Yeah, Zalon, they actually specifically mentioned they weren't changing that, primarily because they see that as still having a place in the meta. And
that's
now,
right. They said there's something in the future that they think it's going to be necessary. So
well, frankly, right now it's actually annoying. So if you're running like a solo Titan, like I'll run Arya quite a lot, and I've run into, when raiding, I've run into that occasional stinking Skullnar that is 100% resist against Titan, and I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. This is annoying.
What's up, Bruce?
Because it just is immune, and so I just sit there and I have to surrender because it's so annoying. It's like defeat personified.
Yeah. Not a good time. Bruce and Anthony, thank you for joining. Picture your French girls. Jeez. Find your lack of faith disturbing, says Fastcart. Nice.
The force is strong in this one.
Mm-hmm. So we got another hour until the premiere of Vintage's fixing of the Divine Gem altars and more video that will be premiering on YouTube. Yeah, I forgot there was a Resist the Titan in the game. Yeah.
Forget about a lot of these skills until you get it, and you're like, no!
No! Not what I wanted!
I don't want that!
Alright. You know, I've only ever gotten one 4-star whetstone, ever.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, that's I just got a 2-star, and I just thought about that. I was like, you know what? Never have gotten anything more than that.
Yeah, I don't want to brag, but I've got so many 4-star whetstones, I've literally fused them away because I don't have enough Maiden Titans to use them.
Jeez,
Yep.
jeez, jeez.
I didn't want to say it. Glad you did.
That's horrific. So, still grinding. Oh, let's just check real quick. Now I'm in 21st place. Ooh, just under Bo. We got to make sure we knock him down.
And where is D at? This is D Watch 2019 for Sunday night.
Where is she? She is down here. There's iTouch. D's down here at 4158. She's in 40th place.
What's your men's?
Something like, I don't know, 4,000 or something like that, 6,000. I'm just making sure I'm above all these people, so that's what I'm doing.
D's balling then at 4158.
Right? Yeah. Well, that's probably because she's like, we need finishers. We need finishers now. Get your souls up, you know.
I don't know what you're all doing, but you need to get some souls.
Yeah, we need to get some souls right now. You know.
Pull a relic.
Yeah, actually, she said put the in a PM here in game. She's like, pull all your tokens. I'm like, Oh, Ice has got a question for you, Conclusive. Is Malduck worth leveling up, or will he simply be replaced when the Horde Summoner is released? I think he might have missed you talking about that earlier.
So the simple answer to that question is it depends on how quickly you level Titans. Like, I level a Titan to max on average like once every 2 weeks. Realistically, I don't expect to see an offensive Horde Summoner in the time frame that would make
it's a 3-star too. Remember, Conclusive. It's
exactly.
a 3-star, so it should actually take you way less than 2 weeks to max him.
Yeah, like, realistically, if I decided to grind out an event with him at a lower boost level or something like that, I could probably just completely have him leveled. So, frankly, like, I would say, yeah, he's worth leveling, because unless our I believe it's Bassett or whoever it is that's coming in the Conquest is like.
Oh,
this,
you think Bassett's coming in the Conquest though? You believe that then, huh?
They said that that's what the case was.
No, it's an Ice Titan in the Conquest.
I think it's going to be an Ice Titan in the Conquest. They said
it was an Ice Titan.
They said it's going to be a new Titan.
Yeah,
no, they said a new Ice Titan. That's why they're having an Ice Theaters Award.
Well, it would make okay. I'm not saying it wouldn't make sense because of all the ice stuff that's going on during the week. You're right, Jim. It would make complete sense if it was.
I'm right because I listened to the live stream. Plus, I talked to Vintage.
Okay. But I know they said
right now putting this out here on YouTube. I better be right.
I do know that they said a new Titan was coming in Conquest. Now, did they say that it was a new Ice Titan?
Yes.
Jim's saying yes. I think he's just hoping that's what they said. I don't know if that was the case.
See, Steel Spine's recap matches my memory of that live stream, and that they just said it was a new Titan.
Right. Well, see, I asked Bo about that.
Kind of something long term.
Mm-hmm. I asked Bo about that when he was directly reading off Steel Spine's recap on his Wednesday night stream. And I asked him, I said, do they specifically say what type of Titan? He goes, no, it just says the new type of Titan. And I was like, that's what I remember from the stream. So, I don't know, Jim. I don't know. We'll see. There's always wishful thinking.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Jim's going to watch it right now. That's funny.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, there's a part of me that is just an evil scalawag that was disagreeable enough, just hoping that somebody else would do that so I wouldn't have to, because someone was gonna have to resolve that conflict, because clearly we've still got another hour in the live stream.
That's right. And Vintage has joined. What's up, Vintage?
Hey, guys.
What's up, Vintage?
Do you like the title of my stream?
Yeah, I like it. Premiere thing. I'm what I think it is. It's like my live stream cop out.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. That's exactly what I said earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's gonna play live, but then I can also interact with people.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. I was hoping you were going to be in your own chat. I was like, probably critiquing yourself.
Wanted to, join you guys. And then I gotta try and ram some dinner down my throat before the thing starts.
Exactly.
That sounds very uncomfortable.
I'm a world-class slow eater.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I don't know. Everybody's always waiting on me to eat.
Well, is that because you're running the conversation at the table, Vintage? Now, be honest. Be honest.
Wait, say again?
I said, is the reason why you're a slow eater is because you're running the conversation at the table, which means you're the one talking the most.
And I'll tell you what, man. I know no one is going to believe this, but whenever I'm around conversation, I listen far more than I talk.
Really?
Talking, because I just go on for what seems like half an hour every video.
Mm-hmm. Hence my comment on one of your last videos, which I thought...
Zalon needs actual confirmation of this somehow.
Right? Because I'll be honest, my mom's the slowest eater in my family, and it was always because she was always the one talking the most all the time at the dinner table. So I just kind of figured maybe that was the situation.
Yeah, not really. Man, even when I eat by myself, I cannot eat lunch in less than an hour. I can't do it.
Mm.
Okay, that is slow.
Right?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm a world-class slow eater. So anytime anyone's, hey, Vintage, you want to grab a quick bite? I'm like, there's no such thing.
There's no such thing. Churro says, I feel you, Vintage. Slow eaters unite.
Yeah. Burger and fries. I mean, that is never less than 45 minutes. and I'm sitting there by myself eating and just like flipping through Reddit or something.
There's your problem. Like flipping through Reddit will make anything longer.
Well, is it also because you're putting down some of your own knowledge into the Reddit threads there, Vintage? Does that distract you from your eating?
Occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally. Mm-hmm. Root cause identified.
Videos, and there was a GIF on there. I could not stop staring at it like a car accident almost. They had a picture of a frog sitting there, and you could see the parasite in its eye. Good grief! But I just kept staring at it like, really? Is this actually happening?
Nice.
If you want to have disturbing nightmares for the next week, go check out the front page of Reddit.
There you go.
I think your front page and my front page look a little bit different.
I don't get into all the political crap. That's a dumpster fire wasteland I want no part of.
There you go.
It depends on which subreddit.
Black Gold says she eats slow as well.
There you go. So now if we ever get together, we all know what tables people should be sitting at.
Right? We're all the slow eaters together. Churro. Wait, who was it? Churro and Black Gold and Vintage, you will be seated together. And so so you don't feel out of place when everyone else is done.
Yeah, everybody else is off doing whatever the hell, and we're still eating.
Just put me at the table that's got chips and salsa, and I'd call it a day.
Well, I did a truckload of battles this week, and I just hit the wall this afternoon. I'm like, I'm playing StarCraft.
There you go. Nice. Corey says, Alana's lazy, all he eats is sandwiches. He's going to turn into a sandwich one day. That's possible. No, I mean, not all the time, but sometimes. Sometimes I'm eating sandwiches. I just make that joke all the time just because I did it on Dee's live stream one time when she was, so we didn't know if she was live or not. And I was just getting frustrated because I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go make a sandwich. And that was the first thing I wanted to do.
To be fair, that's a pretty solid choice.
Well, right, it's not a bad thing. And when it comes down to the week to week, it's a easy quick meal.
Sandwiches have so much variety to it, man. You mix up the toppings, you can put on different dressings, you can go with a meatball sandwich, turkey, options on options on options.
Right? See? Jaeger knows. But also, Jaeger goes for Titans only strictly based on their physical appearance. So we do have to be a little cautious with what we agree with when Jaeger is like, yeah, it's good or bad.
I don't always I don't always go by my decision. I just look at the variety. That's all.
Yes, the variety.
I ate a lot of sandwiches too. I have no problem with sandwiches. And I'm a simple man. I like peanut butter and jelly still. I still like grilled cheese.
You realize
crunchy or smooth?
Crunchy or smooth.
Cheap peanut butter guy.
Okay.
I like both.
I like to mix both. Get that little extra creaminess with that crunch. Live dangerously.
Crunch ratio.
Yeah. Do you have to balance it? Make sure it's nicely balanced?
Oh, no, it's just a straight-up smothering of both of them, and whatever the balance is, it's all good. See, the details don't matter. You don't choose Titans based off the skills, just like you don't eat your sandwiches based off the creaminess. You just know they're both there.
Yeah, well, that sounds like the dev attitude. You're not balancing. No, I'm joking. But anyway, so, so Tox and all the other Brits don't understand why we like peanut butter and jelly so much. It's very much an American thing, apparently. So,
yes. It's fantastic.
Yes, it is fantastic. Because when I asked him one time, I said...
PB&J and a glass of milk, it's awesome.
Right? And I asked him one time, I said, well, what do you put on... if you put peanut butter on bread, what do you put on it? He's like, nothing. I'm like, are you kidding me? You just eat a
peanut butter sandwich.
Right? He's like, yeah, but it's just not popular enough in general that not too many people would even choose to do that, so...
Yeah. Well, it sounds like I'm being called for dinner. I'll catch you guys in a little bit, all right?
All right, cool.
All right, catch you later, Vintage.
Yep, thank you for stopping by.
Later.
Banana in your PB&J? I'll do peanut butter and banana, but without the jelly.
Nutella and bananas.
Yeah, that's good as well. Oh, Black Gold says, and s'mores. Okay, well... Oh, wait, are you saying and s'mores is an American thing? Like, as in, you don't do them? Well, yeah, that's also true because your chocolate isn't really that sweet over in Britain. It's a little bit more on the bitter side. We got that sweetness over here. That's where Jim is supposed to be like, yeah, but he's over rewatching the dev stream to find out. That's what he's doing right now. Jim will be back.
Well, it's actually not too bad because if you listen to it at 2x, you can usually hear for what you're listening to and get through it in like 15 minutes or so, 15, maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah. A grilled cheese sandwich wrapped in bacon? That sounds good, Corey. They have custard. Yeah, fast card they do. The volley and mallet can wait until you get an offensive... Oh, I'm sorry, Shai. I know you're also talking to other people in the chat. I love both. Deep fried s'mores, says Shai. Custard is awesome. Actually, bread pudding is really good, Black Gold. I had it a few times on the cruise, which I was very pleased when I had my bread pudding. I was like, wow, this is actually really good. Oh, Jim's back. So what happened,
Jim's
Jim?
Back.
What happened, Jim? We've been waiting your return.
Yeah. Everybody's been waiting my return. He just said a brand new Titan.
Oh, he just said a brand new Titan. No!
So I admit that maybe you're right. Maybe because the Ice Theater's a war and there's an Ice Temple takeover that I was hoping that it was an Ice Guardian Titan.
Yes.
So to be fair, Jim, they also have commented a couple times that they are doing a new Ice Guardian.
Yes.
They just weren't super clear about when.
Exactly.
Right.
But if they'd have had a new Titan, it would have been on the image. And so since Beset was the one after Drekor and they announced the Conquest there, it just kind of made sense that those two were the same.
Yeah, they said a brand new Titan. They said an interesting Conquest with a brand new Titan. And I even went all the way to the end and listened to the recap, when they do the recap again at the end. Mm-hmm. Yeah, still a brand new Titan. So I admit that I was wrong. I thought he said Ice.
All right.
I apologize, DOT, and I apologize
for everyone that listened through the entire stream. This is for the rewatchers, okay? Make sure you put hashtag Jim was wrong in the comments below. That means you listened to this whole stream to know exactly how this all went down. All right? So make sure we do that. DOT community, don't let me down. All right. So going forward, what's up, Tag? Good to see you. Shai says my wife eats like Garfield the cat. That is actually what, with her hands? Like
trays of lasagna at a time?
Yeah, like only lasagna and swallows it whole. It's not a great comparison.
Yeah, wow. Now, Jim, just so you know, I'm actually quite excited to see how many the hashtag Jim was wrong. It actually does show up in the comment section after the fact.
Yeah, but you know what? I came back on.
You did. You could have not come, but we would have all known it, though. We would have been like, oh, he went and he saw it, and now he's too embarrassed to come back. So you did the right thing, Jim.
No, I could admit when I'm wrong. I'm a big man. I can admit when I'm wrong.
That's true. That's true. But the thing is, though, what you were hoping, as what I believe a lot of other players is hoping as well, though, is that all the signs are pointing towards an Ice Guardian dropping. So.
Right. Oh, that's what I want. That's what I want. Nice Guardian.
Yeah, and you know that event is going to be actually pretty popular just for the simple fact that the new Avalos is total garbage in comparison to the old one. So it's been a bit of a, we don't want to use this word, but it's been a bit of a void in that area. So we don't have...
Well, when's the last time they had a good ice event even? They've all been fire-based themes, it seems like. Or a lot of them.
The Talus one was there. You've had a few Aria events. You had the Tritos one. You had the Mataris one. They've had
garbage, and garbage.
Oh,
Yeah.
Except for Aria.
Aria is not garbage. It's just hard. It's just hard.
Talus.
It's just hard to get a really good roll on Aria. That was the only difficulty, though. But yes.
Right.
At that one, for infiltrators, you really need to be doing it as part of an event team, so you can get that second roll, and you can basically pick the better of your two rolls. And the reality is, most of the time, you're going to need to do that twice to get an actually solid roll on an infiltrator. And by solid roll, I mean one that I can actually use like up through castle level 25 and not kind of be iffy about it.
42nd, nice.
But yeah,
that's right, Corey. Hashtag I hope Jim is right. Thank you, buddy.
Well, yes. Thank you, Corey. Bad pun? Yeah, right? Fast cart? I wanted to see if anybody noticed. Oh, okay, now I'm ahead of Bo, so that's good. Now, I'm just going to move a little bit farther with this last 2-star relic, and then it's just going to be straight grind for me. It should be fine. We're 10k ahead of the 50th place, and with only, I don't know, how many hours left? Like 6? 6 hours left, yeah. We'll be fine. Even though D will be panicky and probably be monitoring until the very end. Even though.
No, I don't know. I mean, honestly, that's 10K is not a whole lot for 6 hours.
Yeah, I was going to say,
the only reason I'm saying that is because I know our players are not going to stop playing. So even though we have 10K right now, it may drop to a more of a 5 to 6K margin, but it doesn't mean that they're not that the souls aren't going to still continue to happen in the meantime.
Yeah, I was going to say it's kind of funny because Jaeger and I are used to playing in beta where it's usually like 10 times that is not a safe margin. Like ERU has gone up and just saved all of their 4 stars to push in like the last hour, and that was crazy. I think they put on like 150,000 souls before the server crashed on that.
Well, see, I'm also looking at it from a perspective of staying in top 50 and in difference of trying to be in top rank 5. You know, I'm in the top 5.
Yeah, it's true. I know. It's just kind of interesting how the numbers change around those different things. It's just a really interesting dynamic.
Yeah, you'll look at 100,000 souls in 2 hours and be like, dang, that's not enough.
Right. We'll see our gap before.
But this event also is not wildly popular.
Exactly. There's different ways to judge different things. I mean, I've been in the background scenes doing a lot of monitoring and stuff like that a lot of times, and helping D out with making some decisions later in the weekends most of the time, because it's usually me that has to get the extra souls at the very end anyway for myself. So I'm just saying. And back in the day when I used to run alliances, my main concern was just being in top 50. Was never, we have to be in top 10 or we have to be in top 3, you know? So the concerns of the major punches of people like either, you know, saving 3 and 4 stars up to the very end and stuff like that, don't even have to count on that, because people aren't going to be doing that in the 50s and 60s range. Now, in the 50s and 60s, will they be pulling relics at the very end and grinding as hard as they can? Yeah, of course. It's just not going to be people just automatically having a handful of 4 stars and 3 stars because they pulled 20 or 30 relics already. And they're just
the good thing is at least they don't guarantee those 3 stars on the last day anymore, right?
Oh, yeah. You know, there's somebody that's well known for stopping that from happening.
Yeah, because we don't want that to happen. Good Lord.
Blame Zalon.
Blame Zalon, yeah. You're still grinding Extinction, nice. See, that's what I'm saying. When it comes down to NTG grinding on especially on the last Sunday, it's It's like almost a it's a normal occurrence. Let's say that. What's up, Seth?
I mean, true story. Can you imagine with the way that events go right now? With like the events are kind of where the game is at. Could you imagine if we had guaranteed 3 stars on that last day? Like how insane that gameplay would be on that last day.
Oh,
it'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, it would not be like healthy for the game.
No, it'd be wild.
The servers would crash.
Right.
And we all know, at least we're not experiencing that now, right? So.
Oh yeah, we didn't have that for 4 hours the other.
Yo, are we getting compensation for that? Because
well,
I haven't seen it.
We're sorry.
Been out all. So I mean, if a compensation comes, which I'd almost be surprised if there wasn't, we probably won't see it until Monday.
Oh yeah.
Customer service told me they were sorry and they're working on the problem. Is that compensation?
Did that make you feel all great inside?
I was happy. It was like I was living in a rainbow and unicorn world. It was awesome.
Right.
So, Mayo, one, what you have to understand is some of the most important things for defense are not actually included in that defense number. And 2, at level 16, your most important thing for defense will probably be a paladin or a champion with a good set of resists, which isn't going to be particularly high, but it'll get you a lot of wins because of the resistance and the armor.
And some examples of Titans that you're referring to would be. I mean, I don't want to speak for you conclusive, but I do want you to finish that thought because I think that's a little more helpful as well.
Basically, you're looking at 3-star paladins. If you give me a sec, I'll actually pull up DOT database and I'll actually list them off. Because there is something to be said for that. So Hercules is going to be solid. Oluna, Thran, and Valwyn are going to be your big tickets. What you're looking for on those Titans is ideally 4 different resists. If you only roll 3, that's fine, but you don't want duplicates between those resists. And what that lets you do is that lets you equip 3 and 4-star equipment on them, and your goal is to max out 3 to 4, at least 3 and ideally 4 elemental resists, and that will take even your really strong offenses, and it will usually slow them down enough or completely stop them because they can't kite well enough.
Nice. Good answer. Corey said Log is actually struggling to maintain first in Masters this week, which really surprises me. Well, the Log team that you're seeing there in Masters is not exactly the same Log team that was playing up in Legends. Let's just say that, Corey. So,
nowhere near the same.
Yeah, so there is that to take into account. Seth Ross says new Coldan would be good for him. Do you agree with that conclusive? Because the way the new Coldan has been spec'd out as a champion does seem to be a bit more appealing.
So, sorry, I have to clear through my head here just a second and remember, I'm thinking you're talking... Okay, so you're talking that... I have some mixed feelings about that being good for low-level players. You're going to have 2 problems with that. One, leveling it up is actually going to be really, really difficult. You're going to have to do a lot of battles, and he's probably going to be better for you on offense, simply because you'll need a good offensive Titan. Can he be good on defense? Yes. Your big problem is he doesn't have any elemental resist. Like, that is a core problem with what you're looking for in defense. It'll make him better general purpose because he's got the armor, but the armor is nowhere near as strong as elemental resist for the purposes of actually defending your castle in that lower level. Simply because let's say I'm running a ranger, like I can get decent enough armor piercing that I can punch you pretty solid if I can kite you. So that elemental resist is what helps you keep that.
Real quick, Sethamapod said, I received compensation for the server issue already. 30 stones and 100k food. Nothing for the amount of souls that would have been ground out during that time, though. Meh. Huh. Interesting. And it was good to see you, King Josh. Thank you for stopping by. Black Gold says, Durat with all Goliaths got me so many greens until I got to Masters. There you go. I remember Durat being quite popular during the 3-star days. And Mayo says, what about Berserkers? Kuba, for example, as a good 3-star. Now, I was going to say, because Berserkers are all offense, typically that's what you want to use them for, but when it comes down to using Kuba as a defender, I think there's other Titans that might be a better choice, but you can field that too.
I'm gonna jump in and kind of say, Berserkers are good. Here's the problem with Berserkers. I am of the opinion that they're not particularly worthwhile until you start hitting the transition point from solo Titans being better to troops being better, and that's a little bit debated around whether that's castle level 18 or closer to 23, but frankly, I'm of the opinion that especially like under castle level 19, maybe even 20, you are better off running a ranger set up as a solo ranger to just plow through whatever it is as it relates to islands, with the exception of summoners, obviously, simply because the ranger meta existed in a time and period, and it still very much exists. Like, I'm taking with my mini a fire strike mid 40s. I'm taking level 25 lands sometimes, depending on how well defended they are, and that's just from the raw power of her being a competent solo Titan that can do a lot of damage. So Berserkers are great if you want to buff troops. Buffing troops when you're still under that castle level 20 time frame, you're better off buffing solo Titans, in my opinion. Fastcart, to answer your question, he's able to use one troop for raids because he has troops in his reinforcements, and so long as you have at least 2 reinforcements in your reinforcements tab and actively selected and available going into the fight, you only need to bring one of your own troops.
Thanks for the fast answer. Corey, Altus isn't bad for a level 16 castle with the right role. Yeah, I remember Altus being part of the 3-star crew that people were like, oh, he's not bad, So, you do gotta get that right role, though. A fire strike? Yeah, I remember when that happened. Which, of course, it's crazy, too, because Bo was mentioning this the other day on my stream about how if you stick around long enough, there'll be some sort of goof-up that happens, and the developers will give out free stuff. And, like, literally, the very next day, it's like I started seeing all sorts of crazy stuff about the server being down and people not being able to play and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, my gosh, it's happening right now. Bo was just talking about this yesterday. So...
And then everyone got a free fire strike and a free core man out of it. Yeah.
I think I also got a free, didn't we get a free 4-star relic in that event too? The fire one?
I think that molten core or something like that.
Yeah, I got that too.
Unfortunately, that was by far the worst of the relics available in that event, but if you got it, I suppose it's not a bad thing.
Right? Oh, you got it. Well, alright.
Free is free.
What's up, Daniel-san? Good to see you. Thank you for joining. We got 30 minutes officially until Vintage's premier Divine Gem fixing video will be premiering over on his channel. We're just going to be playing and grinding all the way up until then, and then I hope you all will join me over there. It will be a the way the premiere videos work, if you haven't heard me say this already, it will be a live stream, but it is a pre-recorded video. But Vintage did mention already that he will be hanging out in the chat, so it'll be nice. Is Volstan worth leveling, or is he just food? Well, the new Volstans that are in the game are good with the with the fact that they have 2 resistances with militia. But again, like Conclusive was talking about, when it comes down to buffing troops and everything else, that's a little bit more of a concern with higher castle level in comparison to lower castle level. So you do have to take that into account.
That said, Volstan is still pretty solid. Like, there have been some times where I've run into one of those and I just wasn't paying careful attention, and like, for instance, I'll be fighting a Matano and I'll go back to, because I'm camping someone at war, and they'll have changed it to a lightning resist Volstan, and I'm like, oh crap.
Right.
That's not fun when that happens.
I should have pulled him too. So yeah, and I mean, if you enjoy militia, like with Dionysus, Volstan is definitely a because I'm implying if you enjoy militia and you have them leveled up, some people do keep them back a little bit on their troop upgrades. So, but if you do enjoy them because of Dionysus, then the chances of you having higher level militia and being able to use them effectively with Volstan is definitely an option. So, but
yeah, the question of his Volstan leveling really comes down to, have you actually kept your militia up to date and castle level?
Right. At high level, Volstan is great, says Sephiroth. Yep, there you go. So I'll tell you, the Guardians that I concern myself with pretty much at this point is the 2 Valorns and the 3 Valorns and the 2 Volstans that I have. So oh yeah, Extinction, there's an event tomorrow. Yes, it's going to be a reskilled Ilzar with a fire relic event. So, and it's going to be, I believe, like one of the 2-day events. So, as long as that is still exactly what's going to happen tomorrow, there should be a Monday Night DOT live stream tomorrow with myself and hopefully Bo as well. So we'll see. There's Hot Pie again. It's probably going to happen a lot now that I'm Castle 24, because I do tend to visit the same people all the time. Alright, so Relic is dead. We're just going to do straight grind now. Actually, we'll throw in some XP relics, actually, because I don't mind. Minotaur is one of my only attackers that, yeah, I am just going to take him straight up to 60 right away and not concern myself with holding back at all. Just because Minotaur is a great defender. So as soon as I do level him up all the way, he'll have a spot on my defensive roster. So let's make some militia. Another major reason of tonight is we need to start a troop upgrade. Just finished up this afternoon, so I now have my horde up to 21. And I need to select my next troop to start upgrading. And I was thinking, because I got Militia at 21, and then I got Archers, Grands, Panthers, and Imperials at 22. And they're all available. And then Horde is still at 21, but being the fact that Bassett's not going to be out for a few more weeks, whether it's either going to be Conquest or the event after it, we'll see. So, in 21, I still consider it to be a lot higher than most people have their Horde at. So, what should I do? I was thinking Imperials, but maybe I'll go Militia to 22. We'll see. But I need more food.
Yeah, lots more food. I always keep my food collected in advance when I have troop upgrades, just because troop upgrades take so much time that I don't waste time in just getting it to level.
Yeah. Well, that's why when it happened this afternoon, I knew that I was grinding a little bit on the ride to and from the dinner that I had with my parents today before I pieced out and headed back. So, and I wasn't grinding while I was driving. I was just listening to live streams. So, I wouldn't suggest grinding while you drive. It's not the greatest. I'm doing the campaign just to get those relic drops to fuse into my 3-star relics. Yeah, it's not a bad idea, Mayo. I'll tell you, I definitely grabbed a lot of those relic tokens in there as well during different times to get them for to be able to get more relics just for forging up. I have a Volstan at level 21. He looks cool as far as skills, but I never used him. I will do him one day behind my Valorn, who's 44, as perfect. And yes, Minotaur looks to be Zalon's new Ulrich as far as events. Yeah, right? Just recently, though, I touched. But when he's maxed, he's maxed. I'm on to somebody else. So that'll be happening soon. If you got new Edalis, you should do imps for sure, Zalon. Yeah, and I don't have new Edalis. So I might get...
Zalon, very randomly, but you just said the word driving, and I just realized we might get together within the next...
Oh, what, me and you?
Yes.
Why? So, what, are you going to be, you're going to be in the area?
If I remember where you're at, I think I might be, and have a lot of free time.
Really? Well, yeah, I'm in the outskirts of Philadelphia, so...
I'll be downtown there next weekend.
Wow. Actually, this next weekend coming up is actually one of my weekends that I have, like, actual free time, because the 2 weekends after that I'll be at the Bloomsburg Fair, which, of course, if you've watched my channel for over a year, you should already know how awesome the Bloomsburg Fair is, and you'll hear all about it in the weeks to come. So, but anyway, besides that, I have that next weekend off, so we'll see, Jaeger. These are all very, very good possibilities.
Options. Talk.
Okay. Yeah, Corey and Fastcard are all excited for the football season that's starting. That's awesome. Sup One Wing was here, but started lurk and got back from the spirit shop. Now I'm all snug on the couch. Nice, I touch. I'm not a year old in DOT. What do you mean? Not yet, Daniel-san? Not yet? Well, you'll get your thorough, education on what I'm referring to. Because it's I don't want to get into it too heavy, but if I told you that the fair runs for like 9 days, people will be like, wait, what? A fair that lasts longer than a 4-day weekend or like a 3-day weekend? Like, yeah. It's pretty ridiculous.
What kind of fair is it?
It's originally started as an agricultural fair, 160... This is the 165th or 66th Bloomsburg Fair? Yeah, and it's and when I also say that, yes, there's a board of directors, and yes, they get paid a stipend of like if you're like the president, it's something like, I don't know, 60, 70,000 a year to be the president of the fair. But these guys are all like, you know, your lawyers and doctors and all those, the typical people that are in all sorts of, you know, like your council people for your local area, you know, and they just happen to be also on these different, you know, boards. So yeah, it's one of those kind of things. And yes, the Bloomsburg Fair has shares, which means it's publicly traded on the stock market. So, and all that information is like, wait, what? This is a fair? This is a place where you go and get cotton candy and peanuts? It's like, yes. You know what I mean? It's one of those kind of things. But yeah, it's huge. And yes, they do have big name acts that come to perform. I growing up, I saw Jeff Foxworthy there, and Larry the Cable Guy, and all sorts.
Sinbad.
No,
no Sinbad ever been there?
No Sinbad. No, Foreigner's gonna be there this year. And Old Dominion. They have a lot of country acts that do show up, though. And then they got the figure eight, what was it, the figure eight racing demo derby? They have all sorts of crazy stuff. A couple different demolition derbies during the week. All right, but I'll get into it later when it gets closer to the time. You're a year next week. Nice, Black Gold. When do you guys think of the family opening back up Adventures Guild with new rewards and challenges? I think that's going to come in 135. I believe that's what they have planned. I think that's coming in 135. For someone my level, should I even focus on grinding events? Well, yes. What you should be grinding in events, Mayo, would be getting the event relic tokens. Don't pull them and save them for events that you really want to go super hard in, and you want to use, say, like maybe like a dozen to maybe more relics in, along with maybe a good 15 to 20k gems that you've saved up. Not saying you should spend money on gems, but you can easily, over periods of time between your dailies and all your and the events that you do grind, you can generate a decent amount of gems over time. So, and your weekly rewards. So, it's one of those kind of things. So, grinding events is good for building your XP on certain titans, and also getting relic drops so that you can forge up your relics. But also at the same time, like I was just mentioning, picking a nice spot in the milestones if you're not interested in going hard in the event, such as, like, let's see, 4,500, yes, because that's the 4th token, but really you can go with 2,000 and get 3 tokens and a bunch of rewards by just grinding, either 1.2 boost, maybe 1.1 if you don't have the right titans to get yourself the max boost. Because a lot of newer players, it can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm automatically assuming you have every titan available and you can get the best boost in the event. Because that's not the case for most people. So that's typically what I always did, was pick out a goal, shoot for it, and do and make it a realistic goal. That's why when I say 2,000 maybe for some people, or 4,500 for maybe some people that have more time. So
yeah, so I'm going to throw on to Zalan a little bit of kind of meta strategy. Mm-hmm. What I'd really recommend is find an event team that consistently just does 2k soul min and then grinds out the 2k, so you pick up your 3 event tokens, those miscellaneous small few gem rewards, and then picks up an alliance reward in the gems. What that lets you do is it lets you accumulate gems, it lets you accumulate relic tokens, and it lets you basically, at such a low soul level, it allows you to pick whatever titan you think is most appropriate to level and focus on leveling that, because you can completely ignore the boost. How that benefits it, like on my mini, I did that for a Fire Strike. I waited, I saved up slowly for the miscellaneous things, and then I did the Fire Strike event and the Anubis event in alliances that were going for top 100 because I had saved the relic tokens, and then I got those 2 titans. And as I have done later events, it's allowed me to grind XP right into my Fire Strike and to help get her leveled, because I can do another like 4,000 battles with her before she's maxed, and that's not going to happen for a very long time. So it gives you valuable XP to increase the capability of your main Titan for attacking. My 2 cents.
Excellent. Well, also too, if I put on there exactly what I did over the years, was always, I helped create a group of people that, I don't want to say it was me only, but I definitely made sure that the alliance that I was in was a top 50 alliance pretty much all the time. And if that was it, as long as I was interested in the event and willing to push, which was pretty much all the time, that I got a lot of event titans that way. Rarely, sometimes we wouldn't get top 50, but it rarely would be the case. So a lot of times that's how I got a lot of my 4-star titans. But it does not, minimums of your alliance is extremely important. So you want to make sure that you're doing your part to make sure that you're not, because alliances won't keep you in for the future, even if you do collect the reward. So,
yeah, the one caveat is I'm assuming, Zalon, that you're not quite a free-to-play player, because that sounds like it.
Over the years, of course not. No, I mean, I did the most of my spending within year 1, and then year 2 was less, and then year 3 has been less as well. And it's only strictly because when you have so much, you typically don't have to put as much into the game to be able to accomplish your same goals. So, that's what I've noticed.
My first year was entirely free to play, and I think the big thing for a free to play player to realize is you will not acquire every Titan you want. And I totally back up and support your thoughts there, Conclusive Ninjas. Save those gems, collect those tokens, and really pay attention to the chats of what Titan is going to be, get you the most bang for your buck. And if there is an event, and this is just a side note, try to see, and hopefully it works out this way, but I always felt, especially as a free-to-play player, the events that usually were your best value were the ones that offered 2 4-star Titans, because that just... I mean, of course, it offers you double what you can get for just a single brand new Titan that might only, just have a single 4-star in it. So it's not going to say that that's always your best option. Sometimes those 2 Titans aren't great, but, as a free-to-play player, you really got to look for ways to kind of stretch that value and be prepared to grind souls, like, no matter what. Like, you're going to be doing a lot of, like, no boost or single boost kind of stuff as you go through it.
Yeah, and I would say you can hit 2,000 souls just off of the free portal stones. You have got to do that every single event. Like, the ability to collect those 3 event tokens literally will define how quickly you can get some of those bigger name Titans. Another interesting thought is the question of how you want to play the game. There is if you want to get like super meta Titan, like say Zeus, for instance. Zeus is a great, amazing Titan. He's absolutely the best lightning Titan out there. But you don't need Zeus if you're just like a casual free-to-play player down in the lower and mid-level leagues, just because you don't have to play with that. Like, your best value may actually be getting on an event team that has a 6k soul minimum and is going for Stormtar and picking up Stormtar and using that as your Lightning Titan. Because now you don't have to finish an event to get the Titan, and you can still have some of those advantages of having the Titan without having to put on super high soul counts to finish events.
Also, too...
Totally. Like, this event was phenomenal for free-to-play players because this gave them the chance to pick up stuff exactly like what you're saying. So
the one thing I want to mention, too, also on top of that, is that when you... Oh, man, I think I lost it because Jaeger interrupted. Oh, no, it's all right, though. It's all right. It's all right. It was just one more thing that I was just going to mention on top of that because... Anyway, I lost the train of thought. I read a comment, too, at the same time. It's all right. But...
it's like having dueling streams. Eventually, you come out on top with that, so it's all good.
Oh, wow. It's all right. It's all right. All right. Anyway, so we have... It's about 10 minutes. I'm going to close the stream down in 10 minutes with, 9 minutes now. With, a minute to spare so that everybody has time to be ready for Vintage's stream because it will drop directly at 10 p.m. Eastern for me, so I feel like the developers, you have 9 minutes to get your hashtags in, everyone. The problem with most event teams is not only are they mostly in Legends League, but most new guys 1 to 2 years can't put up the VP numbers required to stay in those event teams. It's like a level 6 4-star on level 25.
So, iTouchMaster, that's not really the case. Case in point, Forsaken. They run down in Champions. Beta's Finnish team, that consistently runs in lower leagues. There's a lot of smaller event teams that do more mid-tier pushes that exist in the lower leagues. It's a little bit more of a challenge to find ping pong, but yeah, it's very much doable to do it as a 1 to 2 year player. Like, keep in mind, I'm only about 16 months into the game. Like, I'm also castle level 25 now as well. So it does, if you've got the 4 or 5 builders, like, you can, and you're actively engaging and you're keeping stuff moving, like, you will be very capable as a castle level very quickly. It's just that you have to be active.
Ridiculously terrible. I think I'm on, I don't even know, a lot more months than that, and definitely not castle level 25.
Yeah, I'm actually almost to the point where the only thing I have left to do are storage upgrades.
Did you rush past or move past any upgrades, or did you ensure everything at the same level as you moved through the game?
This hasn't happened to me in a long time.
So I rushed as it was appropriate. I had, basically there was one event where I was grinding like 2,000 battles, and I inadvertently picked up the resource glitch, and haven't gotten rid of it since then. So I didn't upgrade my storages or any of my farms, which definitely helped. But the reality is even independently of that, like, I'm to the point where the only upgrades I'm doing are my storages and farms at this point, because everything else is done. But that, in order to do that, like, I was very, very active, making sure that I was always queuing off upgrades and making sure that stuff was happening.
So Solimari is down in gold. Wow, I didn't know they were that far down. Is it worth upgrading my mines and farms? Well, you kind of have to, especially in the later castles levels. So yes, it is. You definitely have to keep up with that, because then you do get stuck behind for a little while if you're not doing that.
Only keep 5 of them up at a time. That's all you.
Yeah, but still, yes, you do have to upgrade them, because it's not where you can just leave them all sitting dormant for forever, because then you're just going to find yourself very far behind when you're trying to upgrade some of your buildings later castle levels.
And really, this is, I don't know, I haven't really talked about it in a while, but one thing to really keep in mind is the storages. Make sure you always are upgrading those consecutively. Don't do them, wait for one to finish. Like, keep those going, because then you'll never have to upgrade 4 or 5 of your mines to max. You'll never have to do like all 11 or 14 or whatever the max number is.
Because as you upgrade one storage at a time, as soon as it's finished upgrading, it then raises the requirement of how many farms or gold mines that you need to use. So, exactly. Very good advice. That's Conclusive Ninja that answered you on that one. Where's the black forest that grows all this ham? That's a good question there, Brain. I'm glad you were able to jump on and ask that extremely important question to the community. Oh, so good. Fastcart says, I regret not getting a 4th builder at $9.99, but it was offered my 5th day playing, and I don't want to spend too much in the game too soon. Yeah, that is something that a lot of players do get offered to them early on in the game, and of course you'd never see it again pretty much, so it's obviously your choice whether you want to do it or not. Yeah.
Yeah, thought the fourth builder wasn't unreasonably expensive. I thought it was like 8k gems or something like that.
Well, see, the thing is, if it's a builder token, a lot of people would say that you would get the pack, buy the builder with gems, and then use the token on the fifth builder, just so you didn't have to pay the 20k gems.
Yeah. But my point is paying the gems for the fourth builder is super useful. Because like that fifth builder, it'll definitely make a difference. But if you're gonna do the approach that's more free to play, the 4 builders you'll be upgrading builders much faster than your troops can keep up with that. Yep. So the 5th builder is more if you really are actually interested in spending gems on troops to keep them up with and current with your levels, and that's not something that most people are going to be interested in.
DOT taught me that lesson. That's like that $5 or $6 in-game bundle that I missed out on that one as well. And I said to myself, well, next time you see one of those deals, you just go ahead and spend $5 on that game because that'll be all right.
Right.
Truth.
Yeah, fast car. 4th builder is 9k gems for me, and I'm rarely above 8k due to events. Yeah. Well. Oh, Brett, you say correction, Solimari is an elite. You misspoke. That's fine. Oh, yeah, my castle level 24 and nearly 25, and my troops are 21, Brett. Oof. It's a little rough when your troops are that far behind.
Tough. I was always in the opinion that I don't move up my troops are at that same level. There's only a few occasions where we've done it. Right now I'm sitting at 22 until all of my troops reach 22. And
personally, I'd do that, sit at 23 and wait for the troops. There's some advantages from islands and availability for ping pong. And the secondary advantage of 23 is it also unlocks the lightning spell, which gives you some perks there to be able to create that for both defense and some other purposes.
All right.
And
I think we have a last question. Last question that we're going to try to answer here, and I like a question like this. It's definitely good, and we have just a few minutes left. So, what leagues are alliances more active in? And I was thinking about it myself. More active. So I would put that on the lines of how many because we have one super active Legends League server, and then there's the second one which is pretty dormant, and then Masters League has I again don't have an exact number on how many servers are in Masters, but I would say somewhere around that six servers area, maybe 5. Yeah,
it's 6 to 7.
And I was going to say,
it really depends on the week
and how active they are. I would have to say that probably it would be more of probably more than half are going to be active, which means more than half the alliances are actually trying. But when it comes down to Champions League, I don't know if we have more champion servers than master servers. So
yes, so basically it's a pyramid structure where you are in a situation where for the most part, for every one master server, you're going to have 5 champion servers, with the exceptions of some nuances in how resting shells and whatever can come down to. So you get progressively more as it goes down. General rule of thumb for that is the earlier someone in your alliance is logging in, the more active of a server you will be placed in. Because basically, alliances are placed in the server of 50 alliances based on the login time of the first user in the alliance. So you have your season changeover, everyone's in limbo, depending on where they promoted or demoted to, and then when someone in the alliance logs into game, they'll be added to the currently filling server. And then so usually what happens is the alliances that are more active have someone logging in more recently after server login, and they'll get plugged into there. They'll fill the first server, and then that'll happen with the second server, etc., until you fill all the servers in the league.
All right, it's 10 o'clock. The premiere should start. So we got to get going.
All right.
All right, DOT community.
Catch you around, gentlemen.
All right, thank you for joining.
Stream,
Conclusive.
guys. Talk to you later.
All right, later, Jaeger. Thank you for joining as well, and thank you for everybody in the chat. We are definitely heading out. iTouch says have more Conclusive Ninja on, so I agree. It's up to him when he wants to be on. So, all right, DOT community, and we will talk to you all again probably tomorrow night. Have a good one.